welcome to this new episode of Continuum Gaming, this time around in English, as you may already have noticed. And today I'm going to talk about 3 different games again, and that will be It's Logic game, Dice King and Town Village. My name is Gerald, and as always I've got a couple of different things with me, which are, for instance, this Arc mouse, of course. I'm going to use the Foldable keyboard, which is this keyboard, which is foldable. Pretty described name, if you ask me. And of course we are going to use my Lumia 50XL again, which is a Windows 10 mobile smartphone with Continuum abilities, and the Continuum is more or less the possibility to stream something to a bigger screen and get a different user experience out of it, like for instance in this case a desktop experience. And all of this is done by the smartphone. It's going to be using the USB-C connected down below here, and that one is going to go into my display dock, which is just more or less a USB-C hub, which is connected by HDMI with this TV, but all of the processing power and stuff like that comes from the smartphone. And if you want to know more about that, please have a look at the corner up there. And other than that, let's start with the first game. The first game is It's Logic game. And for that I'm going to go to my all apps list at this point, and I'm going to search for it. It's called It's Logic game, there we are. Yeah, and what this game is all about is more or less a logical game, of course. So what you are going to receive is you have different clues, and you have to solve different problems or icon combinations, more or less. So let's have a look at that. As you can see, it's a pretty straightforward user interface. You have the possibility or ability to click on game, which is going to start the game itself. And you can, for instance, have a look at your score, which is at the other side here. And other than that, you can change the language. I'm going to use my Foldable keyboard to decrease the volume here a little bit. You can use the language, and that's more or less everything that is to know about this game. This game is not easy, just to let you know. In some situations there are really pretty hardcore tasks to do here. So if you're not a very logical person, it might be a problem for you to solve this. But to more or less exercise that, you should try this game and consider this game, because I really like it. It's really not bad. And for that I'm going to click on game now, and I will show you what's going on. And as you can see, we got 3 different clues at the right side at this point, and different icons in this case. So in this case it's more or less numbers or shown by hands, but there are different other icon sets here. For instance, you can have balls, something like that. You can have something like so some kind of playing stuff. You can have butterflies. You can have smileys and stuff like that. So emoticons and other things that are going to be shown there. It really doesn't matter that much, because it's all about having a look at the different clues and trying to solve this puzzle. So you already have one of the icons in there, and now you will have to have a look at what's going on here. So the first clue is that this is true. So there is those icons next to each other. So in the end it could be that it's, for instance, a 2. So this icon at this place, I'm going to use my mouse now, at this place. But it could be different too, for instance, if there would be 2 2's next to each other. But that's pretty unlikely. So let's see what's going on here. First off, this is true, okay. Then second clue is that at least one of those is true. So in the end it's going to be this one, or it's going to be this one, and this one is false. So we already know a lot here, so those are not going to be the right decisions. That one is true, and that one is the next one, so it's pretty obvious. That has to be true, and we can just drag and drop this over, and that is true too. You get a score now. The score is determined at how often you are doing something wrong, and the score is determined by how long you are going to take for solving that puzzle. And as you can see, we are the greatest, and because of that we get those little animations and stuff like that here. This was a pretty easy one already, but there are really much more difficult ones. I will click on here just to show you a couple of different other things. I'm not going to solve this. As you can see, we have other icon sets now. We can click on this part, and if you select, for instance, something, you can, for instance, have a look at if this is the right answer or this is the right answer by checking it here. If you are hitting that and it's wrong, you are going to be decreased at this point, so the scores are going to be down. You see, you have 5 minutes for each of these levels. At the start it's pretty easy to do that in 5 minutes, but sometimes you really have to think about it, because there are more than only 3 clues, for instance, in some situations, and more than 3 of those icons next to each other. And other than that, you can have a look at the symbols view. The symbols view is going to show you all the different combination possibilities in this game, and now it's only that what you already see here, but it can be in some situations that there are more of those symbols available than you are seeing here. If you don't know something, have a look at this. This is going to give you a clue then, and yeah, other than that, just try it out. I think it's a pretty nice game, especially because it's not really easy to solve, and if you want to more or less do some exercises in that direction, so logical thinking and stuff like that, this is really a good idea, and try that out then. Okay, so I would say just try it out. I think that's more or less all you have to know about the game at start at least, and so let's go to the next one. The next one is called Dice King. And Dice King, I'm going to activate it now. Dice King is a little game which is more or less a combination of different games. So it's a doodle game somehow, it's somehow something like Candy Crush, and maybe something like those puzzles you are seeing sometimes. So let's have a look at that. As you can see, there is always this information if you want to rate something. I'm not going to do that at the moment, but as you can see, Dice King has different kind of dices you're going to play with. So if you want to play with this is a standard set, you are not going to pay anything for it. After that you have to pay with in-game money. At the moment I would have 500, so I could use this, buy this for instance. I'm not going to at the moment, I'm just going to use the normal ones. And there are of course a couple other ones which are more expensive too, but we are not going to use them at the moment. So let's go into the game and have a look at the game itself. There are different kind of modes you can play. There's for instance the professional mode if you want to go there. There you can't rotate dice combinations. I'm going to show you what that's all about. Then you can play a level or a mode more or less which is going to force you to set 2 of them in the right direction. Then there is one that is just going to have a timer, and then there is a standard one. I'm going to play the standard one with you, and the other ones I would say just try them out. You should be very easy to find out what's going on there, because the game itself is not really very hard to play or something. Okay, so click on play, and as you can see, this is more or less the play field now. Here are the different dices you can, for instance, put on your play field in this case. And as you can see at the start, it's pretty much what you want to do here. You can see there are going to be combinations of different dices and single dices you're going to put in. And what you're going to try is more or less you're going to try to match them in more or less some kind of a connection. And if you see that, then it's going to be the higher number, for instance, in this case. And now just by clicking on here, you can change the position, for instance. And for instance, we could do something like this in this case. Try this. Do something like this in this case. And try to match all of those. The more you can match, the higher the numbers on the dice are going to be. And after a while, you are going to have a lot higher numbers here. And there is some kind of a power-up, so if you are, for instance, stuck or you need to get free space or something, then you can click on that icon here, so the bomb is going to explode somewhere on the playfield. It's not going to be settable by you where that is going to go. And if, for instance, you reach the number 6 on your dice, then you are going to create bombs on the playfield itself. Now we have 4. By creating those, you can, for instance, match them with other bombs of themselves, and after that they are going to explode too and give you more space on the playfield. In the standard variation here, so there is not really some kind of an aim for this game, so just do it, just try to reach higher numbers. As you can see, if you reach the higher number, then you are going to receive the higher numbers on the dice by down below here too. And yeah, other than that, it's more or less a doodle game with a little bit of a twist, and especially the other game modes might be interesting for you. So just have a look at that, try it out, and it might be, yeah, a small little game for procrastination or something. So try it out, it's nice for what it is, and if you don't like this kind of a doodle game or something, then it's not the game for you. That's just how it is. Okay, so let's have a look at our last game in this episode. The last game is called Town Village, and Town Village is a small little game where you are going to create a town, of course. For that, I think I first will go and cut here and come back to it, because I would like to, for instance, reset the game so we can start from the beginning with the game, and you're not going to see my town already, which I already built it. And so give me a sec, I'm going to be back in a second. Yeah, and here we are again. I resetted the game so we can start all over again with this game, and I'm not showing you something that you are not supposed to see in the first levels or something. So first off, I'm going to go to my start menu here and go to all apps, and now the game itself is called Town Village. There we are. I'm going to click on that. And yeah, what this game is all about, you are going to create your own little village, you are going to trade with it, you are going to try to build stuff, of course, and you are going to try to grow it. And it's more or less like something like SimCity or other games we already played on this channel. And I really like the game. It's a nice little addition, it has nice little graphics in there, and it's really not a bad kind of iteration there. There's this calm little music in the background. If you want to skip that, you can of course click that away. After the tutorial, first off you have to listen to it. And same will be with the language. I'm going to change the language the moment I can, but it's hard to do that at start. Because they're going to give you this little avatar which is going to help you to start with everything. I'm going to translate everything, but if you are clicking, for instance, on this icon, which would be the one that you would have to click on to set, for instance, the different languages and stuff like that, you are not going to click on that, but you are going to click through the tutorial with that. But I'm going to tell you what's going on there and what she's telling you. And for that I'm going to start with you. Of course we're not going to play too long in this game, because it's really a very, very long game and it's going on and on and on all the time with different tasks to do and stuff like that. But first off, I'm going to change my position here to have a look at the screen in a better way. And now let's have a look at what we got here. So hey, she's more or less just greeting you. She's called Celia, and she's pretty amazed that we are here, more or less. And first off, we have to build our first house or a cottage or something to really give our different people which are already running around here something to live in. So first off, let's build something. To do that, we are prompted to click on this, of course, go to our houses, go to this cottage, and now we are not allowed to move that in the tutorial. Later on we are, but at the moment we are just going to put it somewhere. Okay, and that was the first one. The second one is on the go. She's telling us to build a second one too, because there are more people in the town than that one is going to do there. We are going to get this different cottage. As you can see, there are different designs of cottages in this game, so I think so both are more or less the same, but there are different designs, so it's really a nice little touch to have something like that, and not everything is looking the same always. And yeah, now to get more people in our town, we need to create something like a town hall. So first off, let's do that. This will increase the population limit. So first off, create a town hall, which is this one. We're going to put that in here. We can't move it at the moment, as mentioned before, but we can of course just put it there for now. And after a while you are able to do everything here, so you don't have to wait for something then. Okay, so hey, well done. We are at level 2 now, and we have a couple of different things which are now available. And for instance, we can create this kind of, I think, a different flat here, so some kind of a cottage. And then we have, I think, a craftsmanship or something, I'm not sure. We will have a look at that. Let's see if we find time to change the language. No, we couldn't in this case, but she's telling us that our port here is going to be very interesting for us to trade with other cities. Like that, we can, for instance, create iron, which I'm going to put over here to the ship then. And if we did that, then the ship is going to create new iron for us, or better to say, trade with other towns to get that iron. And of course we need that, and after a while we are going to get different other options here to receive. And of course at the start we are going to get a couple of different iron starts here, and if we want the ship to go on, we can just tell it that. And yeah, we are just brilliant, of course, because we clicked on that. We are just brilliant to click on that. And yeah, everything is going to go to the storage space here. So we can click on that, have a look what we already have here. And there are different kind of groups in there too. We don't really have to read about that. And of course we create different things from those storage items there. For instance, we can build a factory in this case, and this factory, this one, can, for instance, create stuff from the iron. For instance, some kind of a blueprint and so on. And I wasn't fast enough, but I could have, yeah, now. I will change the language. You can see there are different kind of language available. We can click on, for instance, the English one. Then it's going to restart for a little. The good thing is we are not going to restart in the game itself. It's just the interface is going to reload, but we are still at the same part here. Let's have a look at the different other options here. You should deactivate, for instance, the notifications. At least I think you should, because it's a little bit annoying to get all the different notifications from all the different games on your smartphone, if you ask me, but it depends what you want to do there, of course. Then you can change the language, of course, and you can, for instance, get rid of music and sounds if you don't like them. And other than that, let's go to our factory and create our first iron part here. So, they are going to create it for us. We can now collect it. And of course, if we have enough iron left, we can just put it in there too, because we are going to need that after a while. And now we have to build a craft shop in this case. So go on. As you can see, there's this build icon again. We are going to go to commercial this time and go to the craft shop. And she's going to create some kind of pottery for us. And of course we needed those iron blueprints, more or less, to get the pottery from that. yeah, everybody loves us that we built that, and we can have a look at the inner part here. So as you can see, we are going to create our first pottery. If we have more than that, yeah, just collect it first. And if we have more than that, but we doesn't, so you see we have a missing good, we would have to create more of those blueprints there. We can collect that by clicking on the bubble there. But for now, she's going to leave us now. She's happy that we are really doing that well, and yeah, so she's gone, and we can play the game like we want to, and not like the tutorial is going to want us to. Okay, so you already have seen most of the different things in here. So what you are going to do here is you are going to create different things with the different parts here. At the start we are going to get some kind of a boost. As you can see, there's a missing good because we don't have enough iron anymore, so we need to collect that from our boat. And of course we should have a look that all of our boats, at least the ones we already own, is occupied at the moment. After a while we are going to receive more. Those are more or less the level the levels you are in with your town or with your play here, and like that. With level 3 we should receive something. As you can see, we are pretty close to level 3 already, and now just let them work. If you did that, and if they worked for a couple of minutes or seconds, depends on what they are going to wish from you, you receive new stuff. For instance, the little icon here, the red one with the 1, tells us that we have new houses we can, for instance, put in, a hut in this case. And I'm going to put it, let's say, there. As you can see now, I can move everything around here too, and I can create my own little part. She created the new pottery, which is going to be very interesting for later. We can't create anything at the moment, but we are now level 3. So new items have been unlocked in this case. And of course, everybody should work all the time, otherwise you're not going to get that stuff done here. So just try to keep them occupied for at least a little bit. And as you can see, there are different other bubbles going on. So for instance, this is a task bubble. If we click on that, you can see, hey, I need iron, can you give me iron more or less? And for that you are going to receive some kind of experience in this case, and of course some kind of money. And yeah, of course we got now 2 boats we can send out to get us iron. So let's do that, get out again here. Let's have a look at a different thing. We can of course create our own streets in this game. So for instance, if you want to create a street for pedestrians, I think, you can for instance use this button and just connect different things here. For instance, I don't know, let's connect those together. And other than that, if you need, for instance, some kind of a horse drive, so that horses can run around better, you can use that one and create, of course, your own little kingdom or your own little town with that. And after a while, you can, of course, create new stuff. You can zoom in and out, as you can see. And what you will see, click on done after that, what you will see is that, for instance, you can expand your universe more or less with these little bubbles or balloons which are flying around there. So if you click on one of them, you can, for instance, persuade more of those, more space more or less to go on and on and on. Yeah, and there is a lot to explore in this game with a lot of different things. You can, for instance, have the different options here, have a look at them. I would say that is enough for the start, so to let you know what this game is all about. I think you already know that now. So let's go out of this game, and this is more or less the end of this episode. Thanks for watching, thanks for listening. If you have some kind of questions, please put them down in the commentary section down below. Of course, if you would like to give this video a thumbs up, I would highly appreciate that. It's down below. And of course, if you didn't subscribe till now, it's the time to do that now. Do that at the button down below. So if you don't want to miss anything, then please hit the bell button too. And other than that, thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. I wish you the best and stay healthy, of course. And have a nice week. We will see us in the next episode, next week. And other than that, thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. And bye. Bye.